Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 396. We're going to be at 400 soon.
Yeah, right around SSK time.
400.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of episodes,
Yeah,
dude.
but like Jasmine and Gigi are miles ahead of us.
Well, yeah. But
not just miles, like countries ahead of us.
It's not a competition.
It's not, but I am in
admiration?
Yes, of their dedication. And
yeah.
like, it is a rare thing for them to miss a week.
It totally is.
So.
Whereas we're getting to the point where like, nah.
We've had like issue after issue lately, but, and travel, summer travel. Anyway, I'm Leslie. Also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
I'm Laura, also known as Lala. I totally didn't introduce myself.
We got distracted before we were even done with the introduction because it's almost 400 episodes in.
There you go.
Today is Tuesday, June the 19th, 2018. Wow. So it is less than 1 month out from our 7th SSK, which is our summer event in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep.
And you can tell the last 6 weeks before SSK is very prep heavy for us.
And very little knit heavy.
Yeah. That's not a complaint, just an observation. We like to try to get all of our I's dotted and T's crossed before everybody
Ducks
gets
in a row?
Yeah. So, so it's a little lighter on the content, at least on the actual produced items, than usual, except for Laura's spinning. Laura's got crazy amounts of spinning, and I haven't seen any of it plied yet, so I'm excited.
Oh, that's right, because I had a pound to ply when you left my house the other day.
It's crazy. So
the perks of having a lot of bobbins.
A lot of wheels.
And a lot of wheels. That's true. A lot of these were spun on different wheels, too, which is fun.
So works in progress.
Works in progress. I am still working on my hair's not up. See, that was I want to stick my double point in my hair, and my hair's not up.
You could put it in your bra.
But then I'd have to fish it back out. No one needs to see that. I am working on a sock. This is the Free Time Sock by Shannon Squire. And it's got, it's attached to me is what it's got. So it's got this slip stitch detail on the side. And then also these purl ridges. Maybe if I go this way. Yeah, it's showing up a lot darker on the screen than it is in real life. And a speckly heel. And I'm knitting it out of Plucky Feet in a navy blue colorway. I'm sorry, I don't know the actual name. And also, it's funny because I can see where I started.
Oh,
so I switched from using circulars to using double points for like the heel. I prefer that. And I can see there's a jog right there. Can you see it? Isn't it obvious? In between the needles. It won't be obvious once I wash them.
Yeah, just like laddering,
Yeah, it's laddering between the stitches. I actually moved one of my stitches over on this side because I was getting really bad laddering because I was also switching yarns there. So it was not very... Anyway, it was just laddering. It's still laddering. You can see that there's definitely a gap there between those two. For sure. Anyway. Plucky in a navy blue, and then Old Rusted Chair in like Rainbow Trouts, which was leftovers from something else. So I still have a ton left because I'm not making a ton of progress on these, but we'll get there for sure. I'm using some double points that are very short. They're like 5-inch double points from... They're the Heavy Metals, Diecraft. And they're a little bit too short for my taste. I keep losing stitches. And what I need to do is I need to get one of the Gel Bee point protectors on them. You know what I'm talking about? That goes like from there to there and holds
the
them.
stitch stoppers?
Yeah. Well, not stitch stoppers. Those are her ones for circular. She's got ones that hold the ends of double points.
Flock locks.
Yes. Maybe something like that.
I'm pretty sure they're flock locks.
But I haven't done that yet. So, anyway, I'm just going pretty swimmingly. It is living in... I just dropped the freaking needle that I would have stuck in my hair. This is why I can't have nice things. My Tangerine Designs book bag. I love this fabric. I wish they still did that. So I would take a whole quilt out of that.
She already has a library-themed quilt.
I do. I photographed it the other day. I used it for photographs, and it's got rocket ships on the inside. So that's pretty cool. And then I have one other thing. And that is living in my chicken boots bag.
Zip double.
Yeah. And this is my goldfish memory shawl. I'm a little bit concerned about yarn. So Leslie and I talked about it, and I will share that conversation with you in a second. So I am almost done with section 6. I would be done with section 6, except I decided to knit some rows with the dark green. Is there supposed to be dark green in the section? No, there's totally not. So I had to rip back, and then I kind of lost my mojo with it. But this is section 6 right here. And then, oh, Leslie's going to be some hands for me as I drop stuff. So section 6, section 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So up next is section 7, which is the lace section. It's 40 rounds of lace.
And is it in that light blue?
It's in the dark green.
Okay.
And I'm going to cut the light blue in the variegated because I don't want to carry that up the sides of the lace.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like the variegated and the green, and the blue doesn't come into play for like 3 more things. Which is a shame because I actually think I have enough of the blue. So this is what I have left. So this is the blue. Maybe it's just that this cake is sloppier. And that is Plucky Feet and Social Graces. And then this is all that I have left of variegated. That ball keeps getting smaller and smaller. And that is Moon River Wilds and Eye of Newt, and there's no way to get any more of any of these. And then the green is Emma's Crazy Beautiful Yarn out of Florida in the Kale colorway. Yeah. So there's no way I can get any more of any of these. So what might happen is if I start running short towards the ends, I am going to cut off whatever section.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about, well, that's one of the good things about the shawl is that it's easily
it's not on the bias, so it's not like you have to go back down to, oh, I just dropped stitches.
You can change or shorten a section pretty easily.
Yeah. I think it was just that one, yeah. So, and I'm knitting that on size 6 signatures. I knew that, so some of my skeins are 420 yards, and then the Emma's is just 400. But I typically go down a needle size, and I didn't, so what's happening is I'm using more yarn than what the pattern calls for, because my gauge is different. It's wider, which means it will also be shorter. But yours is a good, like, 6 foot long. I mean, I still think it's going to be 1,200 yards, so it's going to be a pretty big shawl.
Yeah.
Regardless. I don't know, we'll have to see.
Yep.
But I need to get back on it because I should be in section 7 already, and I am not. Because I've been spinning and not knitting, but I need to get back on my 50 yards of knitting a night type kick. As you do. That's it for me. That's all I got. How about you, my friend?
I might have to go down a needle size. My gauge has changed since I put this down 2 weeks ago. And haven't
that totally happens. Your gauge will change, like, if you're knitting in the morning, before caffeine, after caffeine. Like, this is a legit thing. You remember the socks that I knit you? Like, I knit one the week before school and one the week, like, 2 weeks after school
I still
started.
have not gotten those socks back.
I know where they are because it just, like,
now,
one's that big and one's that big. It's ridiculous.
There is a difference in stitch count, but it's only like 4 stitches.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And one of them is like 4 inches wide, and one of them is like 7 inches wide.
It does not equal what had happened.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So the only thing I'm actively knitting on right now is the depth hat.
Did you finish things?
I finished a pair of socks.
Oh.
So, why do you have to sound so suspicious? Like,
well, I haven't looked at the show notes yet, and I was like, did she finish like 4 sweaters or something? And I don't know.
No, but so I'm working on the depth hat. This is the plan pooling with it's a Talitha Cuomo pattern, and the yarn is by Fiber Seed. This is the TheKnitGirll's colorway.
Yeah, there's a knit along going on in the Fiber Seed group with that. Did you see? Oh, you're not on social media. So this past weekend was TNNA.
Uh-huh.
And she went with her baby, who's adorable, who apparently had a huge blowout during Sample It, like as Sample It was starting. Sample It's where at TNNA you can go in and buy stuff. It's the only time that you can really like cash and carry stuff, or at least it used to be the only time that you can cash and carry stuff. And her baby had like a blowout everywhere, and she was saying that there were no changing tables in the restrooms. So some lovely knitters put down like all these paper towels so she could like clean her real fast and get it back in. But that wasn't the real story that I was going to tell. They did a cowl, not a cowl,
shrug.
Shrug out of the depth thing. So like it's got variegated in the back and then like here and here maybe?
Yeah, I know it's
but definitely in the back.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it did come up in my recommendations.
Oh, so the pattern's out now too. Yeah. That's cool.
It's by Talitha Cuomo too, so if you want to find it, you can just click on that link for the hat in the show notes and then just go to that designer. I'm also knitting on Nympholydia, which is the shawl out of fiber optic, but I haven't touched it since last week, so there's absolutely 0 point.
I need to figure out what I want to knit on my
out.
fiber optic because it is super pretty.
Yeah. I decided earlier today, well really last night, that I wanted to cast on something new, but I didn't really know what. So I spent 3 hours last night and a couple hours today looking at patterns. Still haven't decided what I want to cast on.
So, do you have a yarn in mind?
Nope.
Or, okay, do you have like, you want it to be knit, obviously, not crocheted or machine knit. Do you have like, do you want it to be a larger project, like a sweater?
Like a long-term thing. There is this sweater called Wrought Iron that I was looking at that I might end up doing. It's, here, I'll pull it up because I sent it to...
I want to see a picture.
I sent it to Sadie earlier.
I love Sadie. Sadie does the podcast Yarnivore, and she does yarns...
Knitter's Nightmare.
That are called Knitter's Nightmare. She just had an update, actually, and she had some cool, I think, Jacob fleece in the update. I looked, and there was some really pretty stuff.
What's this?
Oh, that's pretty. I like that a lot. It's kind of a boxy shape.
Yeah, it's Intarsia in the round.
Oh.
But she says it's really not as hard as you think it is.
I feel like that is a lie.
And I've never done Intarsia in the round or not, except for 5 minutes in a class with a teacher that was not great. So
Leslie has very low tolerance for teachers who are not teaching well.
I don't mean to be critical or anything. It's just, you know, if I'm paying to take a class, then I would like for the time to be spent on the subject.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of important. I don't mind, like, an anecdote or a deviation of 5 minutes into a story that comes back to relate to, you know, whatever the thing that you're doing is, but I don't need to lie on the floor and eat chocolate before...
And visualize your stitches?
Yeah, before I... also, in a conference hall with icky carpet. I'm not going to lay on the floor.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah, it was. And no, I will not tell you who the teacher was. But yeah, that's the only thing that I'm working on. I do have a finished object, though. Do you have
I do not have any finished objects or anything worth talking about until we get to spinning.
Where you have a literal paragraph that is bigger than everything else on show notes.
No.
But that's okay, because Laura has pretty spinning.
Hopefully it's pretty spinning.
I finished my parallel module socks, and I left the other blocker downstairs, so I have to use mismatched ones.
I bought Leslie blockers the other day.
They have unicorns.
They have unicorns. They're from Knitting Left-Handed sock blockers on Etsy. I'm going to pull that up while you talk so that I can show people what they look like. I
knit this out of mustache yarn in the Kama Sutra colorway and OCD skeins, which means they were wound and dyed to be absolutely identical matches, and then I made no effort whatsoever to make them match. In fact, I pulled from opposite ends of the yarn.
See if I can find those sock blockers.
And then, after I did the heel on number 2, I realized it's a completely different heel than the one I did on number 1. So this one's got, like,
Oh, you did a double decrease.
Yeah, and this one is just a regular old flat.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Hi, Mr. Awesome. What's up? Oh, he's going into our little server room thing. Oh, Buffy's in here. So these are the parallel module socks. They have not been blocked.
Okay.
So and these are entrelock. And even though it looks like it's in the round, it's really not. It's back and
Hey,
forth.
kiddo.
Hey, boof, get down. Boof,
That's
boof.
fun. Knitting Left is where I got the sock blockers from. I need to favorite that shop. And I got Leslie unicorn ones. Did you show your whole unicorn one?
No. But I will, so that Laura can buy time to find whatever she's...
No. And I got the wizard one.
Yeah, so these are my unicorn ones. And they were pretty
I
inexpensive
got
for blockers, right?
Harry Potter ones. I felt like they were.
They were like $25
$25
a set.
And they come in multiple sizes. From small all the way up to extra large. Although some sizes are currently sold out. And different things. And they have like dogs and stuff and wizards and witches. The witches weren't there when I got yours. And they kind of remind me of like Terry Pratchett witches.
Oh, yeah, like the Tiffany Aching series.
Yeah. I would have bought those for you, but instead I got you unicorn ones.
I think I like the message that unicorns send better than the implied message of witches.
Okay. So you finished your socks. Yay.
Yep, I did finish my socks. They will get blocked, and then I'll probably give them to Mom and let them in at SSK.
Oh, she'll like that. And she never watches the podcast, so
Yeah,
it'll be a
I
surprise.
don't have to worry about that.
My father was bragging on how you were the first of his children to contact him on Father's Day. FYI.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I was like, guess I'm the last. Although I tried calling him, and I think he was in church. So that's it for finished objects. You spinning. Would you like to talk about your spinning before my spinning?
Sure, and then it'll be the Laura show, which I'm cool with. So I just picked out 3 random braids that had similar color stories. One's a little bit more different than the other 2. And I'm just going to ply them all together and make a big old 3-ply.
Oh, cool.
So the first is probably one of my oldest fiber braids.
And I loved this dyer.
I don't know if this dyer still exists or not.
No, I don't either.
The Dyeing Arts Dazzling
We got that
Duos.
from the Loopy U. The Loopy U used to sell her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like half of it would be like pink, and the other half is the Cheshire Cat.
Mm-hmm.
I think I spun that one.
Yeah, so
I think I have a hat out of that actually.
It was 2 different bits of fiber, and it was wound together like a skein. And one was mostly pink, and one was mostly purple. And I just stripped it and just sort of blended it and spun it in sections. And
you don't see many people do that much anymore. I think that's a fun way of doing fiber.
yeah, I think it's. I agree. I think it would be cool to do sets that way, like maybe 2.5 ounces of one thing and 2.5 ounces of another, and cram them together and put it in some cute packaging, like how.
Or 3 and 3. I feel like Gail's art might do that. I think she did 2 4-ounce braids that went together.
Maybe.
Because I got some at SSK last year, and they were Halloween colors, and I'm gonna spin them for Halloween this year. I got them, and that Mama Linneman bought them for me for Christmas.
Oh yeah. I got something from Western Skynets, I think, was last year.
The year before.
The year before, okay. No, yeah, because last year was, oh gosh, one of the new dyers from Tennessee who was in the back.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. She did that, like, sweet tea colorway.
Yeah, I forget what it is.
She did self-striping.
Yeah.
She's coming back this year, right?
She'll have a booth this year instead of a table.
I'll think of it.
Yeah.
I follow her on Instagram. I hate when I can't remember things.
Your head will only store so much data.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did that spinning while we were watching. What did we watch?
Queer.
Oh, Queer Eye, the new Queer Eye series
Which is
on
amazing
Netflix.
and will make you cry every single time.
Yep.
So, I still skipped it tried to make me watch the one with the liar, and I was like, I'm skipping this.
Laura
can't handle
has
it.
serious issues with, especially like reality shows where people get really embarrassed. It's hard enough for her to do it when it's like a scripted movie.
Like The Office, I can't handle because like
there's so much just random embarrassment in it. She she can't do it. So,
but like there was one of the Queer Eyes where they did like an 18-year-old boy and they forced
who had
him
been homeschooled.
Yeah, for forever. And they, like, forced socialization on him, and I was like, I can't. Like, I can't even. No, it's not gonna happen. Anyway.
Like, go up to those other teenagers you've never met and start a conversation. You're like, oh god, this is gonna be a disaster.
It's not, because they're being recorded.
Right.
5 seconds afterwards, it's going to be a disaster. So I have lots and lots of spinning to show you guys. I, went through...
that was on your,
This was on the Lendro.
Yeah, the Saxony one.
Yeah. So I went through
really
and
light.
got,
You spin that Woolen?
No, I did not.
Oh.
But it was bats. So it's a semi. Alright, let me tell...
Sorry.
I will tell you all about this if Leslie allows me. No, I added less ply twist. So that is 2 sets of batlings. I actually went through my stash and pulled out 4 different sets of hobbledehoy batlings. They come in 2 ounces each. And this was Hogwarts, which had been on a spindle for forever, and I had spun like maybe 5 yards on the spindle, so I just threw that out, and because I wanted this to count for a class for Harry Potter House Cup, and you can't have anything that you've worked on, so I just threw that little bit out and spun the rest of the batlings. So Hogwarts is half of it, and Banned Books is the other, which is ironic because Harry Potter is one of the most challenged books.
Because of that witchcraft.
It is. It's weird how things like that go through trends. But this was spun on the Lendrum Saxony short backward draw. So I did smush out a lot of the air, but I didn't add a lot of twist because I was going very fast. And I didn't add a lot of ply twist. So that's what makes it so floofy. It is around 260 yards of a 2-ply. It's a little bit more, but I subtract some yardage.
How do you remember that if you don't have it labeled?
I wrote it right there.
Oh.
I have the labels at my house.
Oh, okay.
I can tell the difference between this one and the other one because... So when I do my skeins and wind them off, I always try to add like 4 ties. And for some reason... And I use crochet cotton to do ties.
What happened here?
Well, that's the issue is there's not a tie.
Oh, okay.
See, that actually goes there. So there's only 2 ties on this, and they're like fairly close together. So when I go to wind this, it's going to be a little bit of a monster. But usually I always add 4 ties.
You're just spaced on this one?
But I think Pearl was doing something, and I had to, I don't know, I was trying to write and do the math, because I used my Alexa to do, because I have a 2-yard nitty naughty, so I count, and then I double that, and then for Harry Potter House Cup, it gets doubled again because it's 2 plies and you do your singles, and for Stash Dash, it gets tripled because 2 plies and then plying.
The plying yardage, yeah.
And then I had to convert that into meters. So Alexa was helping me, but I was also distracted by something. It was probably when my internet wasn't freaking working and I got irritated. In fact, I can almost guarantee that's what happened.
We lost water today for about 6 hours.
How does that happen?
They were putting in a new subdivision across the road.
Huh.
And I guess they screwed up a water
They
main.
drilled a main?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See? And like, first world problems, right?
Yeah,
I lost internet for
exactly.
2 hours. Whatever. Go read a book, lady. But it irritated me because I wanted to be plying and watching something on TV at the same time. So that is the first one. The second one, actually applied and washed today.
Ooh, that's pretty too.
This is the other Hobbly-Hoy Batlings. This was spun on the Spinolution wheel. See, it's less airy because that one adds twist.
It still feels pretty airy.
A lot faster. So less ply twist, but more singles twist on that one. I mean, still the same amount of ply twist as the other one because I was plying on my mini spinner and counting to 6 and then feeding it in, so really it's a 7 count.
Smells good.
It's Stoke Celebration, my friend. That's the other thing that I bought at that store that I can't find.
Okay, I'll look
So it might
on
be
the way
in your
back
bag.
down.
So
That's really pretty.
yeah, it's the spells and charms that I showed you guys last time. See, multiple ties. It's amazing. And that got spun. The other half was Chamber of Secrets. And those got plied together.
Laura likes Harry Potter.
And so does Hobblyhoy's kids. So we're besties. These are all from Hobblyhoy. I love her batlings, and she's kind of going through a rough patch, so if you can support her, that would be amazing. I'm probably going to order some more fiber from her. She's not going to be at SSK this year.
Yeah.
And the spells is what I got from her at Maryland this year. I also got another thing of fiber, so I'm going to spin the other thing of fiber, and then I'm going to purchase more. Because I like supporting nice people, and she is a nice person. She's a good friend. So, she's a friend to the show, too, which is always nice. The loop bat. So, funny story. I chain plied this, and I put it outside to dry, and it got super windy yesterday. Did you notice that?
No.
So it got super windy, and the wind took it and threw it across the, like...
Rolled it in.
Yeah, in the grass, and luckily it didn't roll it in pearl droppings. Yeah. But it's got grass in it that I'm slowly picking out, because it's driving me nuts. This was a loop bump. This was her Lux. It's super soft.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's got cashmere in it.
It's got a high percentage of cashmere and silk in it.
There's a piece of
I know, as well as merino. And I just love it. The Spells and Charms and Chamber of Secrets was 340 yards. I was kind of hoping that would be closer to the 260 that I got from the other, because I was going to do that West Knit sweater that's got that cool yoke with those two batlings together, but I can't because they're very different grist. That's okay. That just means I get to spend more.
So what did you get out of this?
So this one is a chain ply. It's 350 yards, but you get to times it by 4 for Stash Dash, because 3 ply plus plying equals 4. It's just a 3 ply for Harry Potter purposes, but it's a gradient, so it's got these big blocks of color that will knit up. And I might get like a DK black and like stripe it and do something with it. I haven't decided yet. Or I might just do like a boomerang shawl.
Yeah.
Because it is on the thicker side. Because it isn't a chain ply. But
came out really pretty.
Yeah, I'm excited. And then the last thing, so all of those I'm keeping. Because I need more yarn in my stash. But this was spun for a friend. It's so funny how different wool feels. Because this is that Charlotte,
I think.
Okay. Well, and it's a 3 ply, so I purposely, the more twist you add to something, the crunchier it gets. Yeah. So I didn't add a lot of twist to this on purpose, in either direction. Like, I did enough twist to hold it together, but it's not as twisty as I normally do stuff, but it's got, like, a crunch to it, almost.
I wouldn't say that. I mean...
That's just the nature of the wool. It had nothing to do with, like, the spinning. It's just, like, a very...
It does feel very bouncy, though.
Yeah. It's an interesting wool. I'll have to spin it again in different ways. So this is a 3 ply.
Who's the dyer?
Hello Yarn. This is Winter Bared Its Fangs. It was a club colorway in like December. So I'm working my way through my club. This is going to Tish Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
So I need to send her a package. I have a Patreon prize from her from December, so I told her I was waiting until I finished this I wanted to spin something else for her as well. She's a good friend.
Yeah, I like her lots.
We'll see her at SSK, but I don't want her to have to carry. I don't want to remember to bring this.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to mail it. So this one is 220 yards, so it's a definite worsted.
Yeah.
Make a good hat, I think.
I love the barber pulling on it.
Yeah, it's fun. Or mittens. It would be excellent mittens, because it's like...
It's a more durable.
Yeah.
Durable.
I think that... Because in California, you often need mittens.
That came out sounding like Duraboo.
Okay. And then the last thing I have
Laugh
is...
at my jokes!
I don't know what Duraboo is.
I don't either.
I was just like, okay. The last thing I have is Shetland that I spun for this month's Patreon prize. So I texted Jillian Marino and asked her what's the least amount of time that I could let it sit before plying. And she said like 24 hours is good.
Which she already knew. She just wanted somebody to tell her different.
I wanted someone to tell me like 6 hours. Yeah. I wanted to play it before I got here today. But this is going to be this month's Patreon prize. These are my EcoWorks bobbins. They're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Shetland from Into the World in the Adrift colorway. It's English Shetland. So it's really pretty. It's blues and greens and kind of teals. So it'll be, and browns. It'll be nice plied up.
Yeah, nice
it's
neutral.
It's just a 2-ply. And it'll probably be like a DK to worsted 2-ply.
Looks like you've got quite a bit more on this one.
Yeah, so when I went to split the fiber, some cat might have grabbed one of the ends and was making it difficult to split evenly. I was splitting it down. So how I traditionally split fiber is there's braids that are like this, and I go find the middle, and I pop my thumb through, and I just pull apart.
It's a JC Boggs thing.
Yeah, I find the middle of the middle and do that. And so it just got a little off keister. So
I'm always worried that I won't split it evenly that way, so I always do it lengthwise.
So it's not a big deal if I don't split it evenly, because this is what I had to do for one of those.
You just Andy imply the...
I Andy imply the second half, and what I do is I leave one tail so longer, and then just join that one, and then join the other a little bit further down.
Make it seamless.
Yeah. So, works out well. That is it for me for spinning, although... From what I spun, did I put it here? Yeah. From what I spun this week, so this pound got me 3,731 meters for Stash Dash. I'm nowhere near Jessica, because she's at like 9,000.
And this bothers her a lot.
But I do have like another pound that I had spun like...
The Jacob?
No, it's like what I did at the beginning, like a couple weeks ago at the beginning of Stash Dash. It was the, last month's Patreon, which was that one from Flyaway that I got, and some other fiber that I had spun. I spun like a pound last month, and I waited till the end of the month to ply it all. And then I have my 500 yard, which I have to convert into meters, and some other things. So I think it's around another 3,000. So I'm at like 6,000. So I'm like 3,000 yards or meters behind Jessica. But I'll be okay. It's not a competition except
Except it
yourself.
is for Laura.
No.
It's only as competitive as you want to make it.
Yeah.
And for Laura, she's very goal driven, so...
Well, I made like little mini goals for myself for Stash Dash this year. Like, I would like to spin 7 pounds over the course of the summer. Whether that happens or not with SSK, we'll see. So I have like 2 pounds done so far. And I can probably get another pound done by the end of the month.
I think... So, Laura and I were talking before we started recording about how Laura, in her head, double spends money or triple spends money. Like, so she gets X amount for, you know, participating in this activity, right? And so, in her head, she's already decided, okay, well, at the end of the summer, I'm going to buy this, so my weekly payments of, you know,
I'm tutoring this summer.
X amount will go towards this.
And I'm earning $30 a week
Right.
tutoring, which is really nice because it's just 2 hours a week. But, like, at the end of the summer, I want to buy a Tom Bin backpack for work to take my stuff to and from work, and that's like a $200 backpack. So that's
so it's
a little
easily
bit
done with tutoring money, except
I bought eye makeup today.
Yeah.
So I already, like, and I was like, well, I can't spend, like, that money is now spent, and that detracts from the backpack fund,
but
so I have to think.
The reason I brought that up
because
because I feel like you unintentionally do that with
In life.
planning out your craft projects. You're
Yeah.
like, tonight, you know, I'm going to apply this. Oh, and I have to get 2 repeats of this done. Oh, and I have to...
Yeah, so, like, the goal aspect, too.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I think you double book your time as much as anything else.
I can see that.
And it's not something where, you know, like, you can both be on a conference call and perhaps work on SSK stuff, maybe, depending. But you can't knit 2 things at once.
No, that's true.
So, anyway, that's completely irrelevant. I just thought it was interesting.
That I double, and that then causes anxiety.
Yeah. It's like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
You know?
Welcome to my life. And my head.
So, let's see. For books and stuff, let me move this down.
Now, this is something that I can do in craft.
Yes. Oh, I did want to say, before we get too far into it, both Laura and Lady Amy Florence recommended to me, because over the past years I've gotten more out of mainstream social media and more interested in sort of the politics of feminism and objectification and that sort of thing.
Oh, A Playful Day.
Yeah, so they recommended
she's wonderful.
A Playful Days podcast, and it's audio, and she does interviews with all sorts of different people, crafters and mothers of children with autism, and
she's a very interesting person.
She just did a new interview with her partner Isolde, and
but she did a one before that on body image that I thought was
Body
really
Posi
good.
Panda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if that's sort of the topic that interests you, I wouldn't have thought to look for that in the knitting world, but A Playful Day has a great podcast.
She does, and she's a sweetheart.
Really interesting topics. Not knitting, usually, but interesting topics. That being said, what did I read this week? I'm on the second book of the Heart of Fae series, which says it's like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So far, it doesn't really seem that way.
Leslie, I can't do that.
You've activated your digital assistant Siri.
Yeah, apparently it thinks I said, "Hey Siri, switch," says it's like a Beauty and the Beast. I don't understand what that's trying to... Anyway, it's a pretty good series. It is a pay-for series, but it's only like $3 a book, so pretty inexpensive.
Who's it by?
I have no idea. I can click the link and see.
Can you click the link so I can see the cover?
Yeah,
I don't know that one. Never mind.
Emma Ham. It's the Otherworld series.
Interesting.
And it starts with like these two princes who were born as twins, and they grow up, and the one's going to be the king, and something happens and he ends up cursed, and so every time he gets cut, like stone and crystal grows over it, and it never goes away. So it'd be slowly becoming this like stone.
Yeah, Stone
man.
Prince.
And they banished him to an island, and
That's super kind of them.
Yeah.
Embrace your differences. Nope, you're just banished.
It made me think of you because the
Oh, goody.
no, the chick, the lady in the book, the female love interest, is a healer, and
Of course she is.
the plague that's affecting the family, like the area,
Oh, of course there's a
that
plague.
forces her to go seek out the Stone Prince, is called blood beetles, and they describe it as like bugs under the skin.
Jeez.
And like you can surgically remove them, but they actually breed under your skin.
Oh.
So there's your nightmare for tonight.
So one of my, like, big, like, what ifs things, which, like, I haven't been crazy enough to actually, like, sleep with earplugs or anything, is, what's that movie? Broke Down Palace
with Claire Danes.
Where, like, is it a roach?
It is a roach.
Climbs into her ear and she
dies.
can't, and die. Like, well, it was
But
making
not
noise.
for a while, yeah.
But, like, and breeding, and oh my god, little baby roaches in your head, and, like, drives her insane,
Yeah.
like, the noise,
Yeah.
but also there's a roach breeding in her,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
Should probably put a, like, grossness alert. But
If you hate bugs, this is not the one for you this week. But it's, like, one of my phobias.
yeah. I think that roaches in the ears is probably everybody's phobia. I would think that's pretty safe.
But do people think about it as often as I think about it? Probably not. Most people who saw that movie was like, oh, that's disgusting, and they moved on with their lives. No, I fixate on stuff like that.
I think
Buffy.
Everybody's phobia is going to be the episode title.
Oh, man.
I'm listening to 2 different books that I've already read. But I like the series. The first one is The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie. It's the first in the Mackenzie series. And it's included in the romance package, which I'm a member of.
I love that the protagonist in that is autistic.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
The male lead, yeah.
how many male leads in a romance novel do you see that are autistic?
And
in
this
a
is like
historical romance novel.
Yeah. Paris in the 1800s.
Amazingly well done.
Yeah. Like, he can't make eye contact, and He has the inability to lie, and as a result, they send him to an insane asylum. And
Yeah. Well, his father does some terrible things, too. But it kind of goes into the history of insane asylums a little bit.
Heartwarming. And then I'm listening to The Consumption of Magic, and I've got like 3 hours left.
Oh, that's the TJ McClune, right?
This is, TJ Clune, who is
Clune,
Lightning Struck Heart. It's the third in that series, but I'm at the point now where sad things are about to happen, so I went and looked for another book. Naturally.
I never read past the second one because I don't like sad things happening in my romance novels.
It will break you.
Nope.
At the end of the third one.
And Leslie told me that, and I'm never going to read it. And I love his other books, but never going to read that one.
The fourth one is good, and everything turns out in the end, but it is a hard book to get through.
That's why I don't reread the last 2 Harry Potters. I can't.
She's never seen the last 4 Harry Potter movies.
No, the movies. No, I can't because
nope. We're strong in different ways.
I feel like this whole episode is about things that I cannot deal with well.
Laura's failures.
Let's call them struggles, not failures.
So that's what I've been reading. What about you?
Oh, I get to talk.
You do get to talk.
I finished Ocean Light by Nalini Singh.
Yeah, I think
that's
Nalini Singh.
I'm not certain how to say her name.
She wrote the whole Side Changeling series.
She did, and she also wrote the Archangel series, and this is in the Changeling series, and it's good. It speaks more about the human element, but also the ocean changelings. So, people can turn into giant squids, or dolphins, or whales, or, ocean creatures. So it's interesting in that element. So I finished that. It was pretty good. It's good enough for me to continue the series. I don't know. I think I would reread this one. I don't know. I need to give it some time. It has a lot to deal with crippling anxiety. So sometimes I just need to step away from those.
Read a happy book.
Yeah. And now I'm rereading some Mercedes Lackey books, who is a great fantasy author. She has no qualms of killing anyone, ever.
Now, Kobe read some of her books, and I tried to start a series right after he had read it, but it was right when we were moving, and I ended up not finishing.
And
but
also,
it's got
he destroyed his book.
Yeah, that's true. But there's they're horses, but they're called something else, and they telepathically communicate with their people. And all Mercedes Lackey's books on Amazon get great reviews, so
yeah, they're very fantasy, romance fantasy kind of. She's probably the first male author, romance author.
Oh, really?
That I've ever because I read those books when I was 12 or 13 and thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some male romance in there as well. I just realized that, so I'm rereading her last series that leads into this new series so that I can remember what happened, because I don't. And I'm listening to some Alana Andrews, prepping for the new book that comes out.
When does it come out?
July?
Okay.
Soon. June or July.
And this is the final in the Kate Daniels series, and it's all about Hugh, right?
It's a spin-off. So every once in a while in the Kate Daniels series, that's what I'm listening to right now, is a 5.5. It's Gunmetal Magic. She'll go into a side character in their story. So I'm listening to Andrea and Raphael's one right now. I finished the short story that was Derek and her daughter, Julie. And so there's those, and this new one's Hugh's.
Yeah, I thought it was
what
book
happens
one of something.
to Hugh.
Maybe not.
How he gets, and it might be a series. I think it's just a standalone.
Okay.
Though. I don't know. It might be a new series. They're
I'll
really
read
interesting.
anything that they put out.
Well, yeah, they're really interesting people. I really wish we could go to one of their signings. She's a knitter as well, so there's everyone's this one had an allusion to people who hoard yarn and don't actually knit with it.
Every now and then in some of her series, there'll be a reference to knitting. Like in the Edge series, in one of the books, I think it was the second one with the rat hole and all the... I forget what the name of the family is, but one of the ladies is knitting a shawl, or crocheting a shawl with 2 pairs of rubber gloves on it, and the yarn is wet, and it ends up she's crocheting a poison shawl.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was, little bits of fiber craft work its way in sometimes.
They do, definitely. But I really enjoy the way that they write in general. I think they're interesting people. But if you follow their blog posts and their Twitter, she talks a lot about the industry in general, and she's very open about like how they can publish Innkeeper on their site, but they can't publish Kate Daniels stuff with anyone but like whoever the publisher is, and how like there might not be any more in that series because that publisher has decided that they don't want to continue that series, and how like I don't want to say politics, but how
to some degree
the business of the industry influences the choices that they make and in which formats things get published, which is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm re-listening to those, and I think that's about it for me. I need to read some YA. I've gotten behind on my YA reading pretty badly, so... Oh, I am listening to House of Hades, the Rick Riordan, the next one. It's a 17.5-hour long audiobook, and I am 4 hours into it.
That's long for you.
It is a very long audiobook, so it's like I'll listen to an hour or 2 hours every day, and then I need to take a step back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I am listening to. The striped sock yarn knit along is still going on. And I did put up the finished object thread, so if you're participating in that, that is going on. Leslie and I have been terrible leads of that, so we're probably going to get back. I'm going to cast on some striped socks to take to SSK, because it's going to be like...
That'll be a brainless thing to do.
My brainless knitting to do there in the 5 seconds that I have to sit and knit with people, but, that'll be my knitting during that time. Classes for SSK just got posted, so those they got posted Friday, so all the classes are posted, and I just need to email out some of Isabel's students. They have like a long in-depth homework that could not, it's like several pages,
too bulky to post on.
So I need to go ahead and email that to them, and I think classes are completely done at that point, because we're out really of spots to add like additional classes.
Yeah, it's surprising this year we actually have 5 teachers, and usually we have 4, and we really don't have a lot of open spots in classes, because
a lot of times teachers will teach 20 people, which is a lot. Like, that is a very large classroom, and our teachers this year limited to 15 for the majority of them. Laura Nelkin's a little bit higher, or she can go a little bit higher. And Gail, the person we have doing dyeing, can go a little bit higher, but it's actually more teachers but less spots than what we usually have, which is interesting. So, it is what it is.
I'm confused by that, but okay.
Okay, so if everyone takes 15, well, I guess it's an equal number of spots.
That was my question.
So everyone takes 15. And everyone originally takes 20, we would have 4 times 5 extra would be 20 extra spots. So it is less.
But we now have another class to add to that.
Yeah, but that class is only like 15. 20 is greater than 15.
Yes, dear. I know that 20 is greater than 15, but if we normally have 20 people times 4 classes, that's 80. But if we have 15 times 5, that's 60, that's 75. Jesus. That seems unlikely. Okay.
It is what it is. So, but it worked out. It's all good. Everyone got everything that they wanted, so.
Everyone got everything that they wanted?
Everyone got their first choice. Except for people who did not fill out the forms in a timely manner. So if they didn't get the forms were originally due to me by the 10th, and then we sent out reminder emails saying that they could get it to me by noon on the 15th, and they still didn't do it. Then those people did not get their first choice, but most of them got second. I think one person got third. But everyone who filled out the form on time got their first choice. So that works. Now, there were some classes that were, like, at the same time, so I couldn't, like... Some people wanted all, 4 classes, and I couldn't get some people into all 4 that they wanted because there was conflicting times.
Yeah.
But most people got... The only ones that maybe didn't was, we could have offered 2 classes of mosaic knits, but we had more people sign up for stranded color work as their first choice, so that had to be the second one. Anyway. Logistics. Y'all don't care.
We are leaving the Simply Sock Yarn giveaway up for
one more week.
Because our recording schedule is a little erratic in the summer, so we didn't want to possibly not give people time to enter. So that's up on
and
the
other
Ravelry
people's
thread.
lives are pretty erratic in the summertime, too.
Yeah. You just have to dig past the 30 stash threads to find it.
You do need to be a member of the group in order to win. I mean, you can post, but you're not going to win if you're not a member of the group. We had a lot of people, because Simply Sock Company posted about it, that came over, and then she put on her post that they had to be members of our group. But
yeah. And that's easy to do. Just click join the group. You can leave right after if you want. After the drawing. You still have to be in the group to win. Let's see, what else? Oh, I will probably have some sewing content in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I have to make some aprons for all of the folks behind the table at SSK. So me, Laura, Gwen,
Sarah,
Stacy, and ideally I'd like to make Marmalade in one too. So I'll probably have some sewing content in the next week or two. And I think that's all I've got. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Are you done reducing for your gusset?
I haven't counted.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I've reduced too far. That would be amazing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14,
Sorry
16,
if she's
18.
screwing
Nope.
up.
I'm not done reducing for my gusset because this is the gusset that never ends. But it looks pretty cool.
When you don't ever work on it.
Well, that's true
That
too.
does tend to happen.
That is true.
Okay. Well, you guys have a lovely week, and we will talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.